To quote Brock Perry, the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, if you want people to speak well of you when you're gone, you must speak well when you're here. Today, September 21st, Charlie Kirk's funeral, which is really nothing more than a gigantic show story. Nothing more than another propaganda piece, is the day. And again, my heartfelt condolences for the Charlie Kirk family, his wife, his 2 children. And I continue to say that what happened shouldn't have happened. I do not rejoice in Charlie Kirk's death. I do not make fun of Charlie Kirk because he is dead. I never have, and I never will. I will never rejoice in the death of another person, no matter how vile, no matter how destructive, no matter how hateful. I can't do that. Because to do that diminishes me, lessens me as a person. It shows me to be a monster by rejoicing in the death of another person, regardless of how vile that person is. I will never, ever, ever do that. What I am going to do, what I should say, what I will not do also, is I will not sugarcoat the truth of what Charlie Kirk was as a person. I won't sugarcoat Charlie Kirk because the man was a racist, the man was a bigot, the man was a hateful, destructive person while he was here. While he had a platform of politics and social standing. He had a platform. He could have said so much. He could have brought our nation together and fought for the things that make us great. He could have done so much with his platform. When he created Turning Point USA, there is so much he could have done with it. Yes, we didn't agree on a whole lot. Yes, we were never probably going to agree on a whole lot. But when it comes to what he could have done, with the platform he was blessed on this earth to have, what did he do with it? He spouted racist talking points, hateful talking points that drove a stake through this country, that divided by social and racial and sexual orientational divides. You don't unite a people by saying that the Civil Rights Acts were a mistake, because now it's being weaponized this is him talking, being weaponized by DI programs. You don't unite a nation by saying prominent African Americans, all they got where they were by affirmative action, which some of them did achieve that because of affirmative action. But then go around and say you stole a white person's spot, and you don't have the brain capacity to be taken seriously. Those are directly what Charlie Kirk said. Those are directly his words. You don't unite a people by saying that lesbians and gays should be put to death and applauding what's happening in the Middle East. Seeing videos and photos of gays and lesbians being thrown out of buildings I cannot sugarcoat what Charlie Kirk did because he died. His death was horrendous. His death shouldn't have happened. His death was terrible. His death shouldn't have happened because right now, as unfortunate as it sounds, his death has unlocked something terrible in this country. In the time after his death, after it happened, social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, has been inundated by threats from people who are inside the MAGA and who are Charlie Kirk supporters with threats against American citizens. Threats of killing Democrats. One of the videos I showed on a previous video I made said that one of them wanted to drag us out of our homes and kill us. That's your response to this? Now, I'm sorry that he died, but I am not going to allow his death to be used as some sort of launching platform for killing innocent people. Just for the crime of being Democrat or liberal or left-wing or whatever word you want to use. Just because they didn't vote for Donald Trump. Now you want to martyrize, you want to make Charlie Kirk into your personal martyr? Into your version of Martin Luther King? That's on your soul. My soul is clean. As much as I may respect Barack Obama, he's not Martin Luther King. I will never go that far with any person because there was only one Martin Luther King, and Charlie Kirk actually insulted him too, calling him, without any evidence, a womanizer, amongst other things, a womanizer and a possible rapist, telling him that he's just a myth, that he should never have gotten his own day. Well, neither should you, Kirk. But that's what's happening under this current administration. Now, I'm sorry that Charlie Kirk is dead. I do not support it, I do not celebrate it, and I do not rejoice in that. For two reasons. One, because Charlie Kirk, as much as Charlie Kirk built this platform and is racist, and I didn't agree with everything he said, and I hated what he said because it was racist and it diminishes me as a black man and as a black American who wears this skin color proud and honorably. I will not use this skin color to justify murder, regardless of who it is. And the second reason, because for me to celebrate the death of another human being, whether it be Charlie Kirk or someone else I don't like, that diminishes me. That diminishes my soul. That diminishes me as a human being. It diminishes me as a black man. It diminishes me as an American. Which brings me to the next thing I need to talk about. As much as I really hate, dislike, and not respect Donald Trump, I would never wish any kind of ill on him. Whether it be mental or physical, whether someone wants to really finish the job that we're trying to do, the assassination attempt, I will never rejoice that or wish that on Trump. The only thing I have ever wished on him was prison. The only things I have ever wished on him was ruination, destruction of his name and his title that he gives himself as being better than everyone else, better than everything else. But it seems that Donald Trump hasn't learned that lesson. Last night I saw this video go viral. He continues to make his jokes against President Joe Biden, whose health unfortunately is not well at all. Not well is the galactic understatement. He has stage 4 cancer. And Donald Trump, in his idiocy, decided to say this.
The very angry, mean Biden. You know, Biden was always a mean guy, but never a smart guy. You know, even you go back 30 years ago, 40 years ago, he was a stupid guy, but he was always a mean son of a bitch, you know? How's it working? Not working too well for him right now, as that says. So when you start feeling sorry for him, remember, he was a bad guy.
So you call him an SOB and say that we shouldn't feel sorry for him. As a person, all right, full disclosure with me, I do not have cancer. But a lot of you know that I suffered a stroke earlier this year. It's taken me a lot of time to get better. And thanks to God's grace and the grace of my doctors and the help of my family, I won't say I'm 100%, I would say I was 95%, and that's being generous. That is being very generous. I'm driving, I'm working out, I'm walking every single day, and with any kind of luck, hopefully by this time next month, I'll be back on my job. In my time, ever since my recovery, I've met people who aren't as fortunate, who aren't as, I won't say blessed, but there you are. I met people who are suffering, who could barely lift their arm. By the way, this side was the side that was affected by my stroke. Who couldn't lift their arm, who could barely walk, who can't drive, who need help to go to the bathroom. I would not wish that on anyone, no matter how annoying, no matter how much I might dislike them. I would not wish that kind of fate on those people. Because when you go through something like that, and if you're blessed enough to survive it, like I am, it lends you to have more compassion for people who are suffering, regardless if you hate them or not. In full disclosure, I've had members of my family who have lost their lives because of cancer. I have respect for them and to protect their identities. I won't say whom. I've had people in my family who've been through cancer. I have friends now who are going through cancer, or family members of theirs that are going through cancer. And I would not wish that on them. But this is coming from the President of the United States of America? Don't feel sorry for Joe Biden because he's an angry and mean SOB. either Donald Trump has dementia, and I'm not making fun of him for that. Either he does have dementia or he is just an evil person. Why would you say that about anyone? But since it's Donald Trump, he gets away with it. And Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, his followers are going to cheer and applaud and stand and yell, yeah, Trump, yay, Trump. It is beyond me. And honestly, if Charlie Kirk were alive right now and he heard what Donald Trump said, I can't even imagine what he would say in support of what Donald Trump said. I can't even imagine. Because we already have Charlie Kirk on record saying he has dementia and all that, and that he deserves to be put to death. Calling for the death penalty of a president. See, I would not wish the worst fate of anyone, especially as evil as Donald Trump. I would not celebrate or rejoice at the death of a person as completely racist as Charlie Kirk. I pray for their souls. I pray that they get right with God, the real God, not their made-up evangelical white nationalist God that Charlie Kirk and so many others on the right wing are worshiping now. And I'm not going to say that Charlie Kirk deserved what happened to him, but I will say this. Holy Scripture tells us if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Charlie Kirk lived by hatred and bigotry and racism and the hatred of his fellow man. He died by that as well. And I do not rejoice. I do not take pleasure in that. I'm giving you the simple, straight up facts. Charlie Kirk died for the wrong reasons, but he died because of hatred. The same kind of hatred that he let out. Donald Trump is pushing the same kind of hatred. I do not wish him ill. I do not wish him dead. I do not wish him murdered. But the same kind of hatred that he lets out on an almost daily basis will snuff him out as well. That's not a threat, that's biblical principle. If you live I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but if you live your life of righteousness, of helping people, and yeah, you're going to stumble here or there. You're going to screw up. You're going to F up. I'm trying not to curse. You're going to screw up. But you tried the best you can. And you will receive eternal reward. That's scripture. But if you're just a bastard to everyone and everything around you, if you push out hatred on the mainstream, whether you believe in it or not, whether you're saying it for a buck or not, like Charlie Kirk probably was, because it's easy to say, I hate this person, to a crowd of people that feel the same way and build them out of money than it is to live righteously with the platform that you're given. You live like that, and you see what happens. You say, I hate these people because they're this, that, and the other. And you say it loud enough so everyone can hear you. The end result is you are not long for the platform you have at best, or you're not long for this world, for this life you're living at worst. Charlie Kirk, unfortunately, is a casualty of his own hatred. So while you're memorializing him, while you're trying to make Charlie Kirk into a martyr, ask yourself this question. What did he say, and what did he do with his life to give him such esteem? Did he help his fellow man? Did he help the poor, the injured? Did he do biblical things like shelter the sick and wounded, helping the immigrant? Things that are in the Bible. Or did he do everything he possibly could to demonize them, to hate them? The history doesn't look good for Charlie. It never will. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm not going to let you sugarcoat his memory just because he was assassinated. I feel bad for him and his family. But the legacy of hatred that he created, I will not forgive or forget. The same way that I will not forgive or forget the legacy of destructive hatred that Donald Trump has created. Donald Trump, unfortunately, physiologically, psychologically, he is not long for this world. And we need to give ourselves the truth about that. And history is not going to look upon him as a great leader, a great president. History is going to remember him as a hateful man. History will look upon him and look at him and say that this man was possibly a rapist. That's something in history I would never wish for. But Donald Trump is going to be remembered as that. Remember who they were and remember the truth. Because honestly, I don't think anyone can wipe out the truth. Even if your name is Trump or Kirk. CTP, no truth, God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.